Mohammed Abubakar. I'm from Bagudo local government. I'm from Kebbi State, Bagudo local government. But what makes me annoyed with Nigeria government is this: we don't have good leaders. We just they talk like we Muslim, Hausa, we dey carry God for mind, but we know they use the God. What would they carry for our mind? Would they call the God God? Not be all of us they use am. Now Aboki spoil this country. Why? We say anywhere where you go, before you go see any other language they beg, you must see Aboki they beg in this country. Why it be so? Where we say now we get food, now we they invest food, now we they invest cow, now we they invest many things. But when now we they suffer past many people, why you used to be like that?
Okay, how do you feel now? I say Aboki don't dey for power for a very long time. Una don't rule this country well. You know, una know why you go tell me say una see the hungry.
Oga, I support Biafra so that me home and day in one place.
Talk am again.
I support Biafra in 100 times.
How did you know about Biafra? Who told you about Biafra?
Oga, I was born 1981. I'm not a small pikin. I cross 45 to 44 now. I'm not a small pikin. I don't suffer for this country. So what I see with my eye, you make me I dey cry. But I thank God, human being know they feed me, now God they feed me. Anytime I wake, I will beg the God and I will feed. Till the day I will go back to him. But we have no leaders in this country.
How come?
I support Biafra in 100 times. Let's make home and go so that we, the Hausa, will remain. More we see me home and the assisting on people.
Okay, you are an Hausa man?
Yeah, confirm. I'm from Kebbi State, Bagudo local government.
So why this Fulani they disturb una where? Una just keep quiet.
Fulani they disturb now with Hausa then jump out. If the leaders of the state they no agree, Fulani will no entire state. Who bomb Fulani? Who give Fulani leg? If your leaders of your state, governor or anyone no have hands, they will not enter. You don't ever hear say them call Lagos Fulani can't do something. Whether them go east, whether them go south of east, you don't hear them. Now only Arewa, but part of the Arewa now some state, not the whole state. Like my state, Kebbi State, we don't have that problem with Fulani. But like Kasuna, Zamfara, Sokoto, all those people, now then get that wahala. We don't have any wahala with anybody.
Why Nigeria be like this now? Where they complain saying?
Why Nigeria be like this? We say we don't have good leaders. Even the man is ruling now. Now Hausa they rule am. Now wetin dem tell am to do.
Who be the person where they rule now?
Na Tinubu now, but now person dey ahead of the Tinubu. That is northern people.
If you name them, where they do spoil this country like this?
IBB, like them worry, forget say person they call God. God know in people. Forget if you are not belong to them, they no put you for that seat. If you know their society, you can't belong to that seat.
Okay, now you talk about this Biafra, that you believe of Biafra, that Biafra.
I believe in, I support una 100 and 500.
Do you think what President Buhari, Tinubu is doing now by holding this Mazen and the Kano, after IBB don't confess, say there's nothing like Igbo sponsor the coup? Do you think it's right to Mazen and the Kano?
Me, what I think, Oga, and the IBB way in the talk, in now them follow spoil this country. What in them want talk now, and in no bad eye, but God still they show up on the money way in the still they see waiting in this. If that money go cure that in sickness, may cure that in sickness too.
But some people say IBB no just come and confess say no people plan the coup or Abiola win the election. Say he get busy as he don't they go close to him grave. Saying don't they see people where he kill during the Biafra. Now then they torment and that's why he come confess Nigeria. You believe him?
Oga, now God show him before him go die, may him confess in sin before him go to the in creator. So whatever you best is what you plan now him go best. So now waiting him they see now the evacuation before him go may him confess.
Yoruba and Fulani or Hausa or not has been ruling this country. Igbo man never rule.
And then let's give them now. They are human beings also. Let's give them, let them test. If they no one test, let's do the Biafra so that no woman just there on his own. What you get, you managing. Now God they feed you man. If they know say they are right for what they are doing, the Northerners, if they know say they are right, let's leave the Biafra to do.
So you support Biafra to go to Nigeria?
100 by 100.
Why? Why do you support Biafra?
Why I support is this. We, the Northerners, we are the ruler, we are still the suffering. We are the suffering. I don't know. Before you see any other language you must see outside it. And if you say it's like, enter the whole net taxi state, you must see. Now, so why it used to be like that?
You like Igbo?
Oga, 100 by 100.
Are you sure you like Igbo?
Oga, me, I serve someone at Okwibe. I stay for East 2003 when on a Tamen market catch fire at the East.
You don't mean it.
Oga, they tell you say if there is the truth, say the one truth. Waiting at the talk, me I talk and made the whole world hear and if person wants whatever, you know if
the whole world is hearing you.
I want make them hear and so that if you know be my God, you know if you kill me, I know if you kill you. But me I supposed to be up for 100 by 100. Make them live home and name they on your own. If you believe you are God, serve who you believe so that you see. That is all I believe. But this Northerners made the rest, made another people test this seat.
For the sake of your people who go watching for this live, people feel say now make this Tinubu become president because we over here, where we dey here, we voted for Peter Obi to change power to see, but in the north, we now vote for Tinubu.
Okay, since I was born, I have never voted for anybody. I asked my parents, why una dey go vote? Una go carry una money, go line, suffer, do everything. Some beat una go come, and the person who una vote for no go do wetin una want for. Why will you vote for? What is the meaning of the election? That is why I'm not voting for since I was born to now. But I believe over the world we know. If I'm talking to you, I talk like may God judge woman. But me, I suppose to be up 100 by 100. May God give una that power. Yes, if una dey una right, may God give una power.
As you dey now, if you see if Biafra come today, you go like visit Biafra.
Oga, 100 by 100, I dey tell you, I'm a Muslim. Not that I dey tell you my mind, to my grave, to my 6 feet, I dey tell you my mind. So may woman dey, if dem do the Biafra, may woman dey on your own, more we see. So that then we see who get right, who dey wrong. I mean, make them do it like that if they know say they have the truth. The leaders where they lead now, make them give all my right. Forget religion issue now. Wetin dey spoil this country follow again. Make them give all my right so that you just dey on your own. You beg your God. You hustle for what you need.
Okay, before the next election is coming in 2027, what advice do you have to give to your people? If you then still continue because of religion, this one is a Muslim, they must vote, because this one is Yoruba.
The foolishness is this. You know, say hungry there for this country. One man then just carry little change, then poor. You go see Aboki, you know they hear English. Why then they call us Aboki is this? Hausa man live north. Come here, you know they hear English. You can't see where they carry kaya. You want pass, you go say, hey, that la Aboki na help me. Now how Aboki take enter? Aboki not the Hausa man name. It's not the Hausa man name. Aboki just be like my friend. Sure you understand? Now how outside the country is how like my friend Aboki na. But based on, you know they hear English. You come now, they say kaya, you just come, you see me, and you know they hear Hausa. Na me, Aboki na that lad, na him make they hear them, they call Aboki. So that is why some know they hear English, so no go school. They no get any ways. Na that farm, then they do. So them can't see free money they come for politicians. That is why then they use us we Northerners. Now what make them they use Northerners? That half of the people they are no well educated. So if they on farm, person just come from town, carry money, come saying you need so. You give una money, you una go die for your head. That is why you see. And the people where be say then they do that thing, are the ones where they know about go school. So they're supposed to alight them so that maybe they use their head more fight for our rights.
Do you people miss Jonathan now? Because when Jonathan was there, he did all his possible best to make una
by 100 by 100. He's a Christian, but bless him for what he did for the country. I thank you.
Are you saying that the northern leaders are not doing okay?
They are not doing well.
Well, we are seeing Tinubu now. Tinubu is not doing well. Though you said that they are the one in charge.
Tinubu self is the northern and the ruler. He no get option. Whatever they say is what he.
Controversial judgment of the Supreme Court, ignoring the victory of Nnamdi Kanu in appeal courts. But now, if you are going to try Nnamdi Kanu, the first thing is that you should at least obey your own court by orders. Restore this is like going beyond the appeal court now. Appeal court that actually discharged him, acquitted him and said he has no case in Nigeria. Right? So at least go, if you can't use that of appeal court, use that of the Supreme Court, Abi. So they returned him back to Nyako. By the time they returned him back to Nyako, they've dropped treasonable felony charges. They are now charging him for terrorism. And that was when he said, you guys are mad. It is part of the corrupt judicial system in that contraption where justice is, is pretty much like for the highest bidder, they will say. The entire system, rigged system, right, with bogus charges, just wanted this man out of circulation to stop exposing the agenda of the Fulanis and their collaborators in Nigeria against the people, the indigenous people of Nigeria. Now, this is why you see this target on Nnamdi Kanu. In their own courts, he defeated them in their own courts. He forced them to actually act so stupid and foolish in the face of the rest of the world. So when Nnamdi Kanu insisted that you will not try me, some people said he's so arrogant. I'm talking about the on-boot slaves, the sophisticated moron of this world, the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis. Some were even saying that they should be killed. Nnamdi Kanu is now being charged for terrorism. The Fulani terrorists that Nnamdi Kanu exposed, they are being given, right now, they are being given amnesty. Operation Safe Corridor. Repentant terrorists. Repentant terrorists. And they are charging a man they've locked up for over 3 years now. They are charging him for terrorism that is behind the insecurity in the eastern part of Nigeria. And by law, how? By law, it couldn't have been. So on this note, Kekere Ekun, the crooked criminal Kekere Ekun Agbaule, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, responded today to the letters of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, and they agreed. She agreed that Nyako will no longer preside over Nnamdi Kanu's case anymore. Now, a new judge, a new court is now being assigned to what? To take over the charade, to take over the mockery of justice, to take over the illegality. Still, by the way, there is no, maybe when they get to that one, maybe, I'm just using maybe right now because I'm not really raising my hope, okay? Just maybe this time around, they would actually follow their own supposed laws and release Nnamdi Kanu. Release him. That's what their law says. Release him on his last bail condition. That's what their Supreme Court's judgment says. So when the Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer came out and said, well, we have now been assigned a new judge, which is yet to actually be named. But the first victory here is that Binta Nyako, the compromised Binta Nyako, will no longer, right, have any one-on-one whatsoever with Nnamdi Kanu anymore. There will be no furtherance of this shameful, miscarriage of justice against an innocent man. Everything Nnamdi Kanu told us about the Fulani and their agenda come to pass. APC, Ebekebe, Al-Qaeda People's Congress, Akwa People's Congress. Their agenda is to what? Is to come to loot, which is to steal. Their agenda is to come to destroy, which is to divide. Their agenda is to come to kill. And that is what they are carrying out. And the Fulani terrorists and their collaborators in that contraption celebrated the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu, including the gullible ones, some of you, gullible morons. They are bought into their propaganda so steadily, conveniently. And then you actually it was like give us Barnabas and then crucify this Jesus. I'm not comparing him, by the way, so there's no blasphemy. I'm just saying that is exactly what is going on in that contraption. Terrorists, people are watching these criminals inside this contraption, giving what they call the repentant repented terrorist, right? They said they are rehabilitating them, sending them back into the society. And the insecurity in Nigeria, the terrorism in Nigeria continues. In fact, it continues to grow, escalate. It has now become a multi-billion-dollar industry in that contraption. And up till now, more and more of our people have either been killed, kidnapped, with ransom paid. Others' livelihood have been so destroyed. And the people have been told to be on their own. Oh, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu launched what is called the ESN, Eastern Security Network. It was more or less like the forest rangers to protect the innocent civilians who are the primary targets of this Fulani terrorist, armed Fulani terrorist from Futajalon in the Sahel, thousands of kilometers away from the southern part of Nigeria, where they are telling us to learn how to live with our own murderers, with our own killers, rather than them clamp down on this murderous, Fulani terrorists. Nigeria was trying to teach us how to share and give up our lands to this murderous, jihadists. It went on and on and on for years, with thousands of lives lost, and of course, hundreds of billions of naira worth of people's personal properties destroyed, especially on the farms. So today, people are asking, wait, if the reason why they wanted Nnamdi Kanu dead was because they felt like he was inciting the people against the Fulani, murderous Fulani terrorists. With the track record of this Fulani terrorists in the last 9-10 years alone, isn't that enough for the Olori Brukus in charge of that contraption to have actually probably retraced their steps and possibly turn this guy into your own national hero? I'm just saying, because everything is said will happen, happened, and still happening. Today, in Ehahamufu, in Enugu, dead body. I'm talking about attacks after attacks, everyday attacks, to the point that the people in that community, in these communities, they have had to stage endless days of protest, calling on government to come to their aid. They no longer go to their farms, they can't sleep in their homes, and they just have nowhere to turn to. And Nigeria has got to a stage whereby you can't even defend yourself anymore. Defending yourself is considered a crime. Calling for people to defend themselves is also considered as incitement. All of this institutionalized terrorism inside that contraption, orchestrated, financed, and legalized by no other person than the Daura lifeless mannequin, Mmadu Bukwari, the man that did everything to try to make us to normalize this murderous gang. They gaslighted us, remember? They gaslighted us, Baba. They said that we had what was called the Fulani phobia, that we detest this terrorism and the terrorists and their sponsor. They decided to gaslight us. They said we were inciting people. Victims were not allowed to tell their stories. Anybody who tried to amplify that becomes a target. And today, like I said, everything Nnamdi Kanu wants us off is happening. In Ehahamufu, in Enugu, they had another protest today, and it's the same story. Story of anguish, death, destruction. And I can't really show you the videos and the pictures of the victims of late. It's, this Olori Brukus in charge of this contraption. They ensure that their propaganda, their politically sponsored criminality in the eastern part of Nigeria is blamed on the IPOB, and their propaganda works so much on so many of you, especially those from the eastern part of Nigeria. The IPOB that never actually attacked anyone, ever, kidnapped anyone, ever, they are being put at the front burner as the problems, as part of the problem of Nigeria. And this kind of worked on some of you that are asking that Nnamdi Kanu should be killed. Maybe your problems will be solved. Unfortunately for you, they locked Nnamdi Kanu up. They set up their politically sponsored terrorism in the eastern part of Nigeria, because any act of attacking civilians, the innocent people, right, is considered as a terrorism. The ESN that was supposed to actually provide, that should have been the stopgap between the lack of interest from those who are supposed to protect you in the eastern part of Nigeria. The ESN that was supposed to be the stopgap in between. They used different kind of a blackmail. They targeted some of them known. They killed some of them, kidnapped some of them. I'm talking about the state-sponsored attack on them. It became so bad that when they pick up any petty criminals in the eastern part of Nigeria, their media will declare them as IPOB. So this propaganda works so well that the people who were supposed to actually stand up to appreciate the effort of this ESN and the IPOB in the eastern part of Nigeria, they bought into the propaganda. They watched. The political class destroys what should have been their only saving grace. Because the entire system, as it is so compromised, right, so corrupt, it is so obvious as well that the Fulani terrorists are the only people given the license to kill in the southern part of Nigeria. It's like a license to kill. Even if you put together a security outfit to challenge them, and you actually catches any of them, they will be freed without any trial. I'm talking about this murderous terrorist. They will be freed. So the people are now so vulnerable as we speak. They are so vulnerable that it is like a renewed, kind of like a coordinated attacks as we speak. Where the people of Amufu have been crying. Guess who they are crying to? The same people behind their ordeal. Nigeria government. More people have now been killed.
We don't get anything. Even there now one, broken shoe no, like you let Soli Hena, like you quite a little let me. Makalem, I don't know if you need a push room. Nihela Dalada. Mobile bagage with a man on the gate. Muna what my mother lake make you. Never make a good. We can have a caraca, a graduate who move a week today. A boy has also boom than that. What's about it? Master, let's go again a minute. Look at it. Look at it. Look back to Bella America. You won't look at the platform. Not on the politics. Last sponsor, last sponsor, you name it. If you do particular, I will call out the particular and the politics sponsor. No matter politics school, not the boy. You know, matter. But I really made a rule at the politics. You better goodbye. You have not rob. I don't know. No one and there. I will delay to that. And you will the president of
nobody coming to your rescue, my people. See that self-help that you were probably saved from when Nnamdi Kanu took the responsibility, which eventually triggered them to go extra miles in kidnapping him, in breaking international law. It took a huge risk, but when it mattered most, when the people who were supposed to actually really shut down everywhere after he was kidnapped, somehow fear prevailed. So everybody felt like it was probably Nnamdi Kanu's cross to bear. So they did everything to try to destroy all this good foundation, this good foundation laid by Nnamdi Kanu that could bring about everlasting peace, awareness and peace, prosperity for the people of the eastern part of Nigeria. They allowed the mofo politicians who actually hate their people, hates you. They allow them to have a free ride of kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu and locking him up. Yesterday, somewhere in Imo State, it's called Ihite Opala. Ihite Opala Road in Imo State. These Fulani terrorists took over the road where people were actually kidnapped and others got stranded because they couldn't do anything. Yesterday.
What's no problem? Give him to Nadia. Huh? I see no problem. Yeah, what Bala Road do? Kwa Hesman kind of think he baza. Akwa hana re zikwe, akwa hana re kwa n'ụzọ Bala o. N'ụzọ Bala, ha na-agbazikwa moto direct o, n'ụzọ Bala o. The worst one about here buru passengers bụ ime ọhịa o. Kwa hana emesikwa n'Ọkpala o. Nke a today, being 7th of March, ka nke a na-eme life in Ọkpala. Akwa ndị Hesman. Ihite stroke Ọkpala. Ihite stroke Ọkpala. All the home motors Owerri, Lagos, Onitsha, everybody packed. All of them packed. No motor is coming, no motor is going.
This is the situation. Meanwhile, there are military barracks, Air Force bases scattered across the eastern part of Nigeria, police headquarters. But their only constitutional power, constitutional responsibility, right, is to hunt down every Igbo, young and old, that ever, propagates Biafra. You don't even have to propagate Biafra before they will hunt you down. When it comes to this Fulani terrorists terrorizing the people all over the place, it is beyond their jurisdiction. You are on your own. This is the state of things in the contraption, especially in the eastern part of Nigeria. People watched them, demonized the effort of Nnamdi Kanu, demonized, the sincerity of art, the love of Nnamdi Kanu for his own people. Some of them felt like they didn't feel. They actually asked that he should be killed. So the propaganda worked on some, maybe not on all. But even those that the propaganda didn't work on, there's another thing that is working on them: fear. The fear of, I don't want to be next. And in all of this, it has given the irresponsible criminal Igbo governors a bit of confidence.